Look at that, Seattle. One of these things is not like the other. Even with Arlington National Bank being there, one of these is not like the other.
I was, minding my own business and on the social medias, and then I actually forgot that the XFL was announcing their stuff. And I made a note. It was like, oh, TJ and I need to review this. And then I forgot about it. And then I was like, yo, this would be cool to have on the channel. So that's why typically you have more advanced notice than this. But I was like, yo, this would be cool and it's relevant. And we should do this now. So let's see if we can. And thank you for taking the time, TJ.
Of course, always happy to be here. Always happy to jump on and talk about whatever it is that you have to talk about with me. And yeah, this news kind of snuck up on me too. The big, I guess, rollout reveal was kind of, I don't know, not something I paid a ton of attention to. So uh, it's exciting to have new stuff to talk about with them, though.
I mean, we've been burned so many times over the years, TJ, with all these false starts and all this hype, and then leagues are here 1 minute, gone the next. But so the XFL, we're trying it again, this time with The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and his crew, bringing it back. And so let's see here. Let's share some screen if they will allow me to do it on my computer. Oh, this would be interesting. I'm going to share I should probably share by tab. That's best for video. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this XFL thing here, I like this, it's minimal, it's streamlined. I like it better. And I like how they've been kind of incorporating the either side of the X in their branding and stuff like that. So little animation that they have in front of the reveals of things. I like it. I like it. So what do you think of the general, just the league's logo?
When they first did this rebrand and they put out kind of what the aesthetic was going to be for the league branding, I thought it was interesting. It's very different from what they did the first time or the first rebooted time, and definitely different from the original. And it feels more, I guess, modern, which is what they're probably going for. And it feels new and different, kind of futuristic, if you will. And I like that. It's definitely interesting to see it applied with the team's brandings also.
Yeah, because this is the previous one. This is
Mhm.
XFL Take Two. And it was, I mean, red, white, and blue, I get it. We're in America, blah, blah, blah. And it's very interesting how they've gone from that one to this one. But I think this one works well. Also, it's it stands out more from other leagues, and it's simple, so you can put it in different colors, you can manipulate it in certain ways. So I dig. I dig it. I dig it. So now, TJ, we're gonna get into these teams. So they did a funny thing, and funny depends on your brand of comedy. So they took certain teams and just changed the city, but then they moved certain mascots to completely different regions. Um, so I mean,
I
okay.
think I think what's best to do, and this is the way I divided up my notes, is to talk about the teams that didn't change much at all, then the teams that kind of changed a little bit, and then the ones that moved, and then the new one.
Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to Because my favorite one is an easy one, but I'm not trying to start with that one.
Mhm.
It's one that they didn't change the name, they didn't change the mascot, they just changed the logo. And the logo is freaking fire. And I think it's a cut above the rest of them. But so so the St. Louis Battlehawks didn't change a daggum thing, pretty
Nope.
much. They were just like, we're the St. Louis Shadowhawks. We are, we're making it do what it do, and that's really it. So, but the St. Louis Battlehawks, they're like, yo, this is it. We got our sword, we got our wings. So, what do you think, TJ? Do they need to change? Is everything cool? What do you think?
Yeah, I put no changes, no notes. I mean, they got all of my notes from last time, but it's it's a strong look. The We know what this looks like on the field unless they change the uniforms. So it looks good. It looks strong. I like the color scheme. The only thing that you might try to do is if you were going to change the logo in any way, you could have played with the arch motif a little bit more. But who cares? You have a good brand. You already put a lot of work into it. I like it personally. So like I said, no change, no notes.
Yeah, like I think like maybe they changed the sword a little bit and changed doing, but it's like the basic shape of it is pretty much the same here. I mean, it's pretty much, locked and loaded and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect it. I I respect it. So I'm just trying to think of where do I want to go from here? Let's see here. So some people decided they were going to change just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
just a smidge. And who I'm talking about the Seattle Sea Dragons because being the Dragons, that wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to go with the Sea Dragons. TJ, what do you think of the Seattle Sea Dragons?
I have thoughts. um, Here's the thing. Meh. It's I wrote down that this logo reminds me of there's a person on Twitter, and I should have looked up their handle before, but they do like cute versions of NFL logos and hockey logos and stuff. Um, and this kind of feels like that. It's like someone took the Seattle Dragons logo and made it a cute little cartoon. I mean, I appreciate the S and the dragon. I like you could have done Seattle Dragons and had this S logo, and it would have been good as far as I'm concerned. Sea Dragons is a little bit Seattle Sea Dragons. It's it's like forced alliteration, but not. And are they going to keep the uniforms the same? Like, I don't know if you want to pull up the old Seattle Dragons mascot, but I like that logo just fine. And they even changed the font a little bit and made it a little more kind of
Oh, we
cutesy.
can we
So
can pull it up. Look at that. Look what they did. Look what they did to you. I mean, because this is like, okay, we're going hard in the paint. The other one is like, I I just don't understand how you go from that to I don't like how like I get the S. The S
I love the
having the
S.
S there is dope. I love the S, but I think is you took the detail, and sometimes having less detail works. And I, I, I mean, look at this. Like, look at it. Like, look at it. I feel like they were like, how about we do this? We put an S there, and then we take the detail out of it, and let's just do What's the minimum we can do? But have an S. Let's do that.
Yeah, there's a really good idea there, right? With the S. I mean, do Sea Dragons if you want to, I guess. I don't think it's necessary. It actually kind of looks weird seeing Seattle and Sea Dragons stacked on top of each other right there, for me. So
They
I
literally
don't.
just did it so it'd be S and S. They literally just did it to try to get alliteration.
Yeah, and no, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. So for me, I'll have to see the uniforms in action, and I'll have to see the branding applied a little bit more. But if it doesn't wow me, this could be a pretty big L for them, as far as I'm concerned.
I just don't understand. I mean, I get it's just I don't know. Maybe it's just like the detail of the dragon. I don't know. But Seattle, you did a thing. You did a thing.
Choices were made.
Choices were indeed made. Now, I know some of you remember that TJ and I reviewed the Tampa Bay Vipers, but
Mhm.
get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to Vegas now because they found their alliterative, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to say it. They found their alliterative city to be in. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you the Vegas Vipers. The Vegas Vipers jump into the snake pit to uncover what led the Vipers to become the danger of the desert. The danger of the desert.
Danger of
Um,
the desert's good.
so like I feel like, well, I know I like this Vipers logo better than the Tampa Bay Vipers logo because the Tampa Bay Vipers logo was kind of basic.
Hmm.
Um, that had a very and I do mean very random like stroke around it. And it was like the logo that you would make if you were like, we gotta get a V out here. Both another color in there, huh? It's okay, that's that, yeah, all right.
It's
But
the teeth, Robert. They're teeth.
this one, this one right here. What do you think of the Vegas Vipers, TJ?
I love it. I'm here for it. Vegas Vipers sounds like what it should have been from the beginning. The color scheme works super well for Vegas. If you take the Golden Knights and their gold, sure, but the rest of Vegas is very red and black for their sports teams, and I think that works exceptionally well. The idea of a desert snake works really well for me, also. Um, yeah, overall, I like this a lot more than whatever they were doing when they were in Tampa. There's a lot more opportunities to do stuff with this Vegas brand, and I mean, if you're gonna put a team there, I mean, why not pick the Vipers? It just sounds right. Vegas Vipers. I'm here for it.
This definitely looks like a logo that you would see in like a video game for like a preset team. Like if you wanted to like have like a created team, but you didn't want to do any work for it. It's like, hey, you could be the such and such Vipers, and they're a generic team here.
It's a backyard football team, if we're being honest.
That's what it is. This is like, hey, this is a backyard. We're just hanging out, playing some football in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
this one is like a luxury vehicle. Like
Oh yeah.
this is a luxury vehicle. So we've covered the Vipers. We covered the St. Louis Battle Hawks. We've
Hmm.
covered the Sea Dragons.
Yeah.
So Orlando.
Hmm. Yeah.
So in the previous iteration of the XFL, we had the New York Guardians, and they had a whole video talking about like what it means, New York rugged, we're the Guardians, with the gargoyle, blah, blah, blah. And it all seemed to make sense. Now, I'm not from Orlando, so I don't know thematically how this works, but you know what I'm saying? We can take a look at the Orlando Guardians because when you think Orlando, you think Guardians. So TJ, well, first
Hmm.
off,
Hmm.
It's, a slight upgrade version of the Guardian, which, okay, I see it. So I like it visually, and a nice, interesting color choices there. So I think it's a good logo. I'm just curious about how they arrived at moving the Guardians to Orlando. But hey, TJ, the Orlando Guardians. What do you think of the Orlando Guardians?
Um, the note I wrote down was why. Um, it's I loved the Guardians branding when they were back up north. It's I get changing the color scheme because if you look at league wide, by changing the Vipers to the red black, you had a lot of red and black, and so changing to green makes sense. Sure. But in a time when Guardians is being used by another pretty big professional sports team, and you're going to leave the market where you originally had the Guardians anyway, to go to a team that had an XFL team in the past and just combine things, it just feels weird. And the green and the gray, fine, whatever. The dark green with the neon green, fine, whatever. I just like this logo's cool. This logo looks great. I liked the old Guardians logo. I like this new Guardians logo. But let me just say this. Let me just say this. Do you, Robert, do you, creative Bobby, remember or have you seen what the Orlando XFL team was the first time around?
Now do I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the games and I
Mm-hmm.
was super hype for the debut of the OG XFL. And I was like, yo, this is what's up, Orlando Ray. Like, let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
something about the original. Say what you want about the original XFL. Say what you want about the original XFL. They shot for the moon with some of this stuff. Like I mean, you know what? We're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look because let me
There were some
see.
cool teams. There were
There
some
was
cool brands,
there was
logos.
legit cool teams, cool logos. I mean, look, the Birmingham Bolts, the Chicago Enforcers, the Las Vegas Outlaws, and notice they didn't have to try to shoehorn in alliteration everywhere. Like it was like we're coming for the Los Angeles Extreme. This is so 2001. The San
Mm-hmm.
Francisco Demons, the Orlando. Look at this Orlando Rage, yo. Orlando Rage, man. With the look, look at
I'm
that.
just
Now look,
saying it's a missed opportunity that they didn't go back to Rage. I mean, you didn't have to bring back this logo if you didn't want to. You could have done a modernized version of this logo if you wanted to, and it could have been this cat logo thing that you did. But calling them the Guardians makes no sense.
yo, if they would have used the Orlando Rage colors and that's something.
Mm-hmm.
Now these uniforms are 2001 atrocious, but um,
It looks
listen,
like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers number font from the Jameis Winston era.
like these numbers aren't even from the same. Like, what are we doing? Wow, we were doing crazy stuff in 2001. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, great logo, great logo. I'm excited to see what they do with the uniforms, but the name's like very, very interesting that you decided to go with
Well,
that.
and the thing that annoys me the most is you had a chance to do something new, creative, and different, or go back to the Rage or whatever, and then keep the Guardians name for when, if and when you expand back to the Gotham area. But now you can't because you're using it in Orlando, where there's definitely like they took away the gargoyle thing because that's not a thing down there. So now they're just Guardians who happen to be prowling cats. I don't know. I don't know. It's unfortunate. Literally keep the cat mascot. It's cool. Call them something else like I don't know, Pumas or something. The Rage. I don't care. Power Cats. Something.
Power
Anything.
Cat. The Power Cats. Oh, it'd be original. Never heard of a team called the Power Cats.
I'm dead. Those are my thoughts on that. It's unfortunate that I don't like it as much. It was such a the Apollos died, so what? These guardian cats could live. I don't know.
Oh man, the Apollos, man. Come on, Alliance. Come
Pour one out.
on. Oh my goodness, man. Rip to the Orlando Apollos. That was good stuff, man. But
Mhm.
so they're doing that. They decided they're going to do that, and that's fine. That is fine. Okay, where am I going to go next? So I'm going to go to the nation's capital next.
Mhm.
The DC Defenders, we're keeping it straight up. DC Defenders, we're keeping it. The name, all right, cool. So, if you may remember, the previous version of the Defenders was this logo here with the D and the C and the lightning with the stars and the shield, because you're defending something. So you got the shield there and you got the D and the C there. It's cool. It's cool. But they have decided to do something slightly different here. And they're going to go with this: stand alongside the defenders to discover what drives them to resist their strongest opposition. And they resist it with a star, with a line, and a strong D. Get your mind out of the gutter, TJ. Anyway, so what are we doing here? Because you got the D and the C is in there with the star. So as a logo, as a pure logo, I think this is good. I think conceptually, I prefer the previous one because the previous one did more for me, but I might be wrong. TJ, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
I can appreciate the DNC for District of Columbia, DC. Like I can appreciate that. They're the DC Defenders, so getting to get both letters in there, that's pretty cool. That said, the original brand from last time resembled kind of a almost military patch, and then the lack of lightning bolt in this, what is likely going to be the helmet decal, tells me that the kind of superhero, the Flash uniforms might not be the case anymore, which is somewhat disappointing, but I will wait. They may keep the same uniforms and just slap a new decal on the helmets, and that's fine. Um, the star, the star feels a little bit Dallas Cowboys and a little bit Fairly Odd Parents. Um, Jorgen von Strangle's wand right there. Maybe this is his team, but um, I don't know. I'm not gonna bash it too much because I think it'll work really well as a helmet logo. I just hope that they keep some of the rest of the branding around it, because the lightning bolt stuff was really cool. I thought it worked really well. I'm glad they kept the color scheme. I'm glad they kept the name, but I don't know. It looks, like I said, Dallas Cowboys meets Fairly Odd Parents for me.
Jorgen
Exactly.
von Strangle, the first DC defender. Come on. That's funny.
They want to use that. That would be excellent.
Oh man. So we got the DC defenders. And yeah, I'm gonna save my favorite for last. But we're gonna continue. So this franchise only slightly changed their name, and their name is like now, I guess, more accurate to where they
Mhm.
play. So next up, we have not the Dallas Renegades, but we have the Arlington Renegades, ladies and gents. So, okay, Renegades, answer me this. You were like, hey, we had this mascot logo. It's dope with the hat and the eyes and all of that. and it's gonna be super dope, and we're gonna have all kinds of stuff with it. We're gonna like desperados and everything. Like, ladies and gentlemen, this is all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna share this tab.
Mm-hmm.
They went from this, ladies and gents, they went from this logo to this logo. Why? I and this is a great logo. I just feel like you had something great that fits a sports franchise, especially a sports franchise that's trying to be different than other sports franchises. It looks super dope, but you go to this, like, this looks more like if you pulled up to a bank and it had this logo, you would be like, yeah, I'm at a bank, of course. But I'm not, like, this would be like a cool, like, secondary logo or something. But TJ, what are your thoughts on the Arlington Renegades?
Well, the things that I like first, keeping the colors and keeping the Renegades name. Great. Good start. Go claiming Arlington. Cool. That's not something that other sports teams have done, even though some play in Arlington. So I like that. I support that. If you want to get funny with it, Arlington kind of is like a R and a Renegades, but that's neither here nor there. Um, when I looked at this logo the first time, my mind was the logo is literally saying not Dallas. It's a no D. It's they forgot to add the actual logo back in. They're like, we're the not Dallas, we're the Arlington Renegades. I don't know. It reads kind of like an R, but not really to me. I would have liked it. It'll be a little bit different. But like you said, you had a brilliant logo already. So why change it? Why get rid of that? I mean, if you wanted to change the color of the eyes so you're not using the red or whatever, fine. That's whatever. It's neither here nor there. But like, why would you go away from that? And then the R that they're using is maybe indicating a new font, maybe, but it's not an R. It's a D with a slash through it. Like that's all I see. And if that's on the helmets, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Mm, it's a daggum shame. It's a tragedy of what it is. Like, how do you go from that to that? Like, at least, I mean, at least the DC one looks like it would be a sports, logo. Like, this one just, let's take all the personality out of here.
Mm,
So we have a new team here, the San Antonio Brahmas, which,
mhm.
I mean, that has to be like a wink wink, nudge nudge to Dwayne the Rock Johnson himself, because he has a tattoo of a Brahma bull on his arm. So I'm like, I mean, it's smart. It's smart. So we have the San Antonio Brahmas, which I don't think I've ever heard of a team mascot being the Brahmas. I've heard many bulls, but not Brahmas. So I so I feel like this is like a combination of like the Las Vegas Outlaws logo from the first thing and the Birmingham Thunderbolts. That's what
Mm.
I get. I get good, big fusion vibes from that, and I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I dig the logo, and like, hold on, let me just share real quick. Like, don't you see it? Like, you have like like you have the Outlaws here, and they just took kind of some of that and the horns down here, and they took the Birmingham, Thunderbolts, and they turned it into something which I think it's a good logo. I like it. TJ, what do you think of the San Antonio Brahmas?
I love it. I think it's really cool. They are the only yellow team. So please don't not use your color yellow. Like, you're probably going to be tempted to do like a black or gray uniform with yellow as your accent. Fine. I'm not asking for you to do all yellow. That would be a little bit much. But please don't shy away from your color. This name is great. The location is excellent. It's don't mess this up, and you have a chance to be the best overall concept in this entire league. If they go out there, if the overall branding efforts work the way that I think they can, this could be the new thing that defines this current XFL moving forward. Because the other teams are great. They're great. I have very few complaints about most of them. But this feels fresh. This feels new. This feels even more different than the rest. And if they can execute, I think this is going to be the face of the franchise.
I dig it.
Well,
I dig
the
it.
league. They're a franchise in the league. Whatever. Semantics.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we got, Arlington, being a bank for some reason.
Arlington National Bank.
Arlington National Bank, being a bank. We got Jorgen von Strangle for the DC Defenders. We got the Guardians. I guess they're going to build some gargoyles in Orlando now. San Antonio Brahmas, which looking very classy right now, very classy. The Seattle Sea Dragons, which they alliterated themselves into oblivion with this a little bit. St. Louis Battlehawks, it ain't broke, don't fix it. Vegas Vipers alliterating themselves into success. Mm-hmm. And finally, we have, I don't want to speak for TJ, but my personal favorite of this bunch, the Houston Roughnecks, same town, same nickname. They just took the logo that they already had and zhuzhed it up a little bit. And I am a big fan of this logo right here. Like, this thing is beautiful. It's clean. You get the H there, you get the reference there, you get the star in there. It just looks really, really good. Well crafted. TJ, what do you think of the Houston Roughnecks?
They were an example of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But like you said, they chose to zhuzh up their logo a little bit, make the H a little bit easier to read. They played with the colors in the logo so that the H is the big red thing that you see. Because on the old logo, it reads well. Like, you can still tell what it is. It's still kind of the oil rig. It's got the H, but it kind of had red and white, and it moved up to the stars. Like, this is more simplified. It's more, it's more bold, and it's, I think dynamic, perhaps. Because you see where it goes from colors to colors, and they have the weird outline of the H, but not the star. And then they did that on their uniforms, which, don't get me started on that again. That's a whole thing. A cool logo, but I could see the desire to move to something a little different. And this is good. That's about all I have to say. Is it's good. I'm sure you have a lot more to say about this, because it is your favorite. My favorite overall was the Brahmas, but yeah, this is a pretty good use of changing up a logo for the better. The Vipers also did a very good job with theirs, and then there's other teams that did the same thing, but went the other direction. So while there's been some success, this is an example of some of the better ones that you can come out. Look at that Seattle. One of these things is not like the other. Even with Arlington National Bank being there, one of these is not like the other.
Man, like, it really stands out in the company.
It's so bad. I'm sorry. I love the idea of the S Dragon. I do. But that Guardians logo and that Viper logo and that Brahmas logo are all going to eat that Seattle Sea Dragon logo for a snack. It's like a seahorse. Like, it's the Seattle Seahorses now, as far as I'm concerned.
That's the problem. It's the intimidation.
Sea dragons are seahorses. So
So they went from a dragon to a sea.
seahorses.
Wow, that's what it is. Y'all just had to get that S in there by any means
Mhm.
necessary. Wow, 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 wow. But I mean, the majority of this is well done. Like, man, just the screen with them all together, man, that Sea Dragons thing really, man,
It
yeah.
doesn't look like it's real. Like it looks like I'm telling you, there's that person on social media that does cute caricatures of the logos, and that's what this is. Oh, that poor dragon. Look what they did to our boy. The Guardians, that I like the neon green. That dark green ain't it. I don't know. I'm having more critiques as I'm looking at the league wide thing right here. It's also who put the orange-ish, red-ish color underneath the bright red? Couldn't have put it anywhere else. Couldn't have switched them and the Battlehawks.
No, I think
All
it's
right.
just, alphabetical order, TJ. So I mean, they could have done a green background for the Sea Dragons, I guess, but
What alphabetical?
like Arlington, DC, Houston, Orlando. Then we go San Antonio, Seattle, St. Louis, and then Vegas. Man, Vegas Vipers looks like it could rival Tesla. That's what it looks like. It looks like that's like a car dealership out here. Like
Luxury car brand. Absolutely. That's
like
what
you
that is.
you ain't ready for the Vipers. Yeah, they could sell some cars.
Yeah. The Brahmas are going to be, working out, getting some muscle in, hitting up the gym, some almost kind of like a CrossFit kind of thing, or The Rock's personal brand, honestly.
Or maybe the Brahmas could take the Sea Dragons into the gym and kind of beef them back up to like an actual dragon. Maybe that could be something. So this little seahorse here needs to get out of here.
Not the
Man,
seahorse.
good old Arlington National Bank. Wow. Mm-mm. Like there are things that have been said in this video that I'll never forget. Like when they announced their uniforms, I was like, I'm always gonna like DC. You're always the Jorgen von Strength. It's always going to be up here in my brain.
Puny fairies, puny seahorses.
Oh my goodness. Well, like overall, I think they did good. Of course, I am excited to see, uniforms, brand like more of what's gonna happen with it. Um, I hope this lasts more than a year. Can we get more than one season?
I hope so. And for what it's worth, I don't miss the Los Angeles team.
Dang, TJ, you hating on the LA team?
Or the like Wildcats or something. They're weird red and orange and black.
Come on, TJ, it's the Wildcats. You wasn't a fan of the
I'll take the Brahmas over that every day.
That's fair. That's fair.
You could have called them the Orlando Wildcats.
See, they should probably just pay us for these types of things. Have us consult before you finalize any of these things. And I think we could help a lot of people out. But, they just want to be ignorant, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Go Guardians.
The long-standing tradition of Guardians in Orlando. There'll be a video that comes out somehow that tries to like explain it. Somebody built a gargoyle last night and put it up in, in some kind of fountain or something. And they were like, yeah, we've always had this guardian here.
It's the Guardian. It's the gargoyles on the Haunted Mansion. That's what they are. But they also chose a cat for reasons.
They tried.
Good luck getting hashtag Go Guardians like away from Cleveland.
Yeah. Good luck on that. But that's gonna do it for us on this episode of Design and the Writer. Thank you, TJ, for joining me on this journey. And let us know in the comment section down below what's your favorite of this bunch. Should TJ and I do what we try to do with the Alliance, which is other than save it, make our own team in this, milieu. Maybe show some of these teams, looking at you, Sea Dragons, how you're supposed to do it. Let us know in the comment section down below. Remember, as you go along in life, teach as you learn and inspire as you do. See y'all next time.